Well, girlfriends, welcome to Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling with Angela Jordan Perry. And this is another episode for you today. This is season 2, episode 18 here on YouTube, where I have Rashida Freeman. And we just had an extensive interview. If you want to hear the whole interview, you have to go to the podcast, Girlfriends Chat. And that is on season 2, episode 16 for the podcast. Okay, so this is episode 18 on YouTube and on Facebook. So one of the things we do here on Girlfriend's Guide, this is like your teaser, so you can just get a little glimpse of what the interview was actually about, what we talked about, and we spoke on several things. But one of the things that Rashida spoke on so poignantly that we need to dive in deeper on is this idea of grieving while homeschooling. Okay, so just to let you know what this platform is, again, this is a platform for those of the African diaspora who are homeschooling, where you can get insights, encouragement for the journey, creative ways to homeschool. You get to identify with someone else who may have the same situation, story, setup, family dynamic, pay structure, both parents are working, one parent working homeschooling, single mom working homeschooling, or, mom at home homeschooling, mom homeschooling for 20 years, 1 year, 1 month, it's a variety. But the idea is for you to walk away empowered that you can educate your own child or children. Okay, so this is what this platform. I'm Angela Jordan Perry. I am the host of this show, and and my purpose-driven life is to make a positive impact on thousands of homeschoolers. So that's just a little bit about me, and also a homeschooling mom, 8 children, 20 years, still homeschooling 5 of them, and a little ways to go. All right. But with Rashida in our interview, Rashida, you mentioned about the grieving process that you went through when your dad transitioned. And I thought that was very key, because right as we're in the midst of this recording, COVID-19 is, the thing that's happening right now. And one of the things I mentioned to you is just a few weeks ago, I reached out to my members of my homeschool association to let them know that if you need to pause and take a break to walk through what you need to walk through emotionally while we're in this COVID, or maybe someone has lost their income or whatever, then do what you have to do, and then make up the 180 days that you need for this year. And I gave them that permission. Sometimes we need that permission to do that. So what can you share with the girlfriends in your journey? Back us up and tell us a little bit about what occurred and the grieving process, and how you, if you were, figured out how to freely walk through this grieving process for your own personal journey.
Well, just to give a little bit of background, my dad was ill he was ill off and on for some time, but right before the school year, our homeschool year started, he transitioned. As a matter of fact, I believe it was like the day before. So I was confused at first. It was like, oh my goodness, like now I have to plan a funeral. I have to homeschool my children because school is about to start, and how am I going to do all of this? And initially I tried to power through, just get it all done. Like, let's everybody stay active. If we're active, we won't think about it. If we're active, we won't be sad. But we were still grieving. So through this process, and I was still grieving. I was my dad's only child. So everything fell on me. And I felt like at the time I didn't have all the answers for my boys. What I didn't realize is I didn't need the answers. I just needed to pause and allow them and myself to feel our emotions and go through the process.
Right.
So I think that through my father transitioning and through our grieving, they learned that grief is an extension of love. We grieve those that we love that are no longer with us, or that we can't get to right away.
Right.
Because even now, like, children are probably grieving seeing their friends, because they're not in school and they can't get to them, and a Zoom call may not quite do it. But that's because they love their friends and they enjoy it. So my children did learn to that grief is an extension of love. They also, through my grief, got to see me be vulnerable. There were plenty of days where I would just bust out crying. So I think that afforded them the ability to know that it's okay to be emotional, to express your emotions, and to, state that I'm not okay. This is a moment where I am not okay.
Right.
But they also did learn. This whole time I was beating myself up thinking they're not learning anything. They learned about life insurance. They learned about wills. They learned how to close out accounts, because these are things they had to do with me. They had to go with me to different banks to close out accounts. They were, at the other end of the table when I was on the phone closing out final bills. And the will process, I think that was a very interesting one, because we were about to clean out his house, and they're like, well, what happens to all his stuff? Like, does it stay here, or do we throw it away? And I'm like, well, actually, he left things for you. So what do you mean he left? He can't leave things for us. He's not here anymore. Yes, in a will, or if someone verbally states they want someone to have something when they leave, or when they pass away, you get those items. So then one of my sons asked, do we have wills? You don't have a will yet. You're gonna leave me a bike, God forbid something happens. So but they got to understand what a will is, and what it's supposed to do, and what it stands for, and what a beneficiary is. They they said, so who gets the rest of this stuff? And I'm like, well, mommy gets it. So they got to see a lot of that. They got to tour funeral homes and find out the process of cremation versus embalming. So there was a lot of learning that went on. It just did not look like a typical homeschool day or a typical school day for anyone else. They were learning life lessons through grief.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So for someone who may be going through the grieving process, maybe because someone has transitioned, or maybe because they are now taking on the role of homeschooling that they were not expecting to, and maybe they are fighting it, tooth and nail. This is not what they wanted to do, but they're having to homeschool and be with their kids. Whatever that grieving situation may look like, maybe income has been reduced or lost, and they're figuring out how we're going to take care of things and make ends meet. What is the encouragement that you can give to them right now?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Like you mentioned, you told your team members to take a break if they need to. So definitely, if you need the break, take it. But allow yourself to process your emotions, so that you can think with a clear head. Be open and honest with your children and with yourself. I think you have to be open and honest with yourself before you can even be open and honest with them. Acknowledge the fact that I'm scared, I'm nervous. My normal was taken away from me, and now I have to adjust to this new normal. And I don't like it. But I got to get through it also. So if that means I have to pause until I can figure things out, do it. If that means relying on someone else for help because you just can't seem to do it all, remember the whole get everybody else involved. I need to tap out for a minute just so that I can think this through. Do it. And allow them to ask questions, and allow them to feel their emotions, and keep an open dialogue. Because we're all grieving right now.
That's what I was just going to say. I said, we're talking about the parents, but how about the kids too? Who are grieving, and everybody may just need a timeout.
And I think so. Just a timeout. It's okay to pause. It's okay to pause. You can press play at any time. You can rewind. You can fast forward, but you can definitely pause. It's yours to do.
I think that's the biggest encouragement for everyone who's walking through this time, and whatever it may look like. It is so many parts and moving parts and elements to all that's been going on for all of us during this time. Who knows what is what? But one of the things I appreciate about the interview that we had just a moment ago is that you mentioned you had to step away for a moment, just go in your room and just cry for like 45 minutes.
Yes.
And
Yes, I
trust that the
did.
kids, when you came out, the kids were in their place, they were doing what they needed to do, and to help you to be able to do what you need to do. And that's absolutely fine for all of us to, fall apart. Don't hold it, keep it strong and look like we
Yes.
got it all right when we're just tore up inside,
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. And so I like that vulnerability and that truth space that that they save space for you to be able to go and take care of what you need to take care of during that grieving process.
Yes.
And for all of you who are listening, hopefully, you have people who are saving space for you to be real and to be and to do, and you saving space for yourself. Sometimes we don't need to
Yes.
save space for
Yes.
ourselves, right? To be
Mm-hmm.
like, I just need to go on a walk. I need to go on a walk every day. And I'll
By
need to look at
myself.
by myself, and I'll need to look at a book, and I'll need to talk about school. I'll need to do anything or nothing. And it's okay. It's
It is
absolutely
okay.
okay, because we're humans. And while we're homeschooling, we have real life happening.
Yes.
And that's a little tricky thing, because when you're in a public school and you're in your schooling, you're doing that one thing and you get to leave the life to a space and you go and do a job. But when you're homeschooling, it's all right there together.
It's all right there.
It's all right there,
there.
and you're
It
trying
blends.
it blends in. And so anyway, that's the encouragement. I hope that everything that Rashida had to share on that makes you think what you need. Take a moment to pause and just look at what you need. What do you need? Breathe. And then let your kids do the same thing and find out what they need. And maybe they need a breather too. And and whatever that looks like. But we shouldn't just plow through this time, because it's a little tricky for everybody.
It is. Mm-hmm.
And if it's not COVID-19, it may be something else for real world in your life that you might be dealing with, that you need to help maneuver through, or have help to maneuver through, so that you can come on the other side successfully, sane and refreshed, and whatever that all you need, right? So very good. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks again, Rashida, for your wisdom and your insights. Is there anything else you wanted to share along those lines?
No, I think, I don't know if I said it, but just be open about grief and concerns, as much as their minds can handle, because them understanding that sometimes I think our kids look at us as superheroes or not human, because we do everything for them and we are so strong.
Yeah.
So just being open and being vulnerable at levels that they can handle. I think that also builds the trust and the open communication. So so when I went to the bedroom to cry, they knew that's what I was going to do.
Okay.
They may not have seen the mascara running down my face, but they knew what was happening in that when I retreated.
Yeah.
They knew. So allow them to know, like I said, within reason, I'm not okay right now. I need a moment, or, we need a break.
Yeah.
Because it helps them to understand human relationship as well.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Well said. Well, girlfriends, that was good. It's good insights. And again, I hope that this time that we're all in April 2020 of this recording, in the middle of COVID-19, 2020 has come in with a bang. But you know what? We're going to go out with an amazing bang. This is not the heaviness and the fate of this entire year. So we are going to rise up, and it's going to be beautiful. It's all part of our journey, but it's going to be beautiful. And I just know it. I'm holding on to that. So find encouragement from Rashida's words today. And if you have not listened to the full interview, find the podcast. It's on all your podcast stations. Again, it's Girlfriends Chat with Angela Jordan Perry. Thank you all for sharing, doing all of the stuff, hitting the notification bell, hitting the like, thumbs up, the buttons, all the things that are positive. Share, and get it out. Okay. So thank you. Until next time. Peace, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Rashida.
Bye-bye.